Amjad Ali, he is a senior analyst, Brigadier Saab. Thank you very much to have joined us and to have been part of the show. We see you finally face to face in the studio. And you, Brigadier Amjad Ali Saab, Baloch militant trends, nothing new. The forces have been trying to apprehend those trends, whether it be the Majid Brigade or the other different brigades that have been in activity since 2011 and even before that. In these latest spates of attack that we have witnessed in October and then right now, in which seven, of course, people from the FC were martyred, what is the basic intention behind it, and who do you feel is behind it all? Directly, then we'll talk about the indirect causes of it all.
Thank you very much, Umar. First of all, we should understand that Balochistan is a region in our Pakistan which is our soft belly, in fact. And there is a reason for that. And these types of insurgencies, they have not started taking place right now. They have been from mid-70s, early 70s, they started taking place. And then different groups, they have started coming up. But who is backing them? Let's go directly who is backing them. No one else than India. Because India is the one. What happened with India in the last couple of days, couple of months and in this last year? India has been attacked by Chinese in Ladakh. India has been thrown out of Chabahar. India has been exposed in Afghanistan, whereas the talks in Afghanistan which were taking place, India was not part of it. And they used to think that we are the strategic partners with the Afghanistan, or we perhaps will do something with Pakistan. They are the one who started with this new slogan of Greater Balochistan, Liberate Balochistan, and they started investing in Balochistan. Now, after having met this shameful, I must say, defeat at the hands of different elements by, of course, Pakistani agencies, what India could have done? India is trying to do which she is doing now. They are trying to create, sort of chaos, confusion, and they are trying to create terrorism, wave of terrorism, surge in the wave of terrorism by telling the people that this is an unstable region, and this region should necessarily not be part of Pakistan because there are many human rights violations going on in this region. Whatever groups those are working in Afghanistan, major group is BLA, of course, Pakistan Liberation Army, Balochistan Liberation Army, where their main leader was being treated once he was injured. He was treated in Delhi, from where they were getting funding. We have a dossier we have just submitted to United Nations and the European Union.
That was presented by DG ISPR and the Foreign Minister.
Yes, and with concrete empirical evidences, with videos, with CDs, with audio recordings, with the paper evidences. We have told them, and we have even the Pakistan Foreign Office and the DG ISPR have even told them the amount of funding they have been receiving and from which channel they have been receiving, from Dubai or England or from whatever. So this new wave of terrorism, having said all this, I personally feel that there is a surge, but it is not that alarming where we should just, start worrying about something. Our intelligence agencies, our security agencies, they are handling it well. And this particular attack which you mentioned, the 7 persons
of the
FC, they got murdered. It is because a few days earlier, intelligence-based operation was carried out where 10 of the terrorists were killed, a number of them were apprehended, and there were a lot of information which were being acquired, retrieved from them.
All right. And that is one. This is a reactionary tactic that they have employed. In fact, all right. It is up when we talk about the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and of course the fact that India is at loggerheads with China over Ladakh. B, there is a certain backing of India by a certain superpower as we speak, so as to counter Chinese activities in the region. And C, the fact itself that the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is a harbinger of prosperity in the region, which of course countries like India do not like and do not want to happen, whether it be directly or indirectly. What is going to happen in the future, and how prepared are we in Pakistan to counter such activities?
Of course, India would never like that this project is completed and reaches its culmination point. There is a reason for that, because this is a project of which we are the pioneers. we have started this CPAC project with China, and this is the basic, this is the base for the BRI. And if the China is involved in it, then Russia has come in, then certain Middle Eastern countries, they are interested, even certain European countries, they have shown interest, and this is the region which is the richest region, and it used to be known as the poorest region of Pakistan. But when these CPAC activities, inshallah, when these will be completed in next coming 4 or 5 years, and you will see the type of prosperity which will be brought to this region, and the type of good things and the welfare projects and the heart and mind winning factors which will play into for the people of the Balochistan. I am sure that will be already CPAC is a thrown in the neck of Indians, but that I think will be the last nail in the coffin of Indians terrorists and Hogmanic designs or their ill designs or ill intentions which they have about Balochistan.
All right, but Brigadier Sahab, one thing is to counter such activities by our forces, by our different military wings that are present there. Another thing is to strengthen Balochistan from the inside, to empower the people of Balochistan, to let them know who is on the right side and who is on the wrong side. What needs to be done on that aspect as well, sir?
The political will is required for which, as far as the security forces are concerned, Pakistan Armed Forces are concerned, I think they are doing a lot for Balochistan. There are a lot of projects which are being done by the armed forces for the welfare of the people of that area. But we need to have a political will where we need to have a very strong political system inside. And anything which is all the successes achieved by the security forces should be backed and strengthened by the political activities and development activities. Until the time those are not taken there, the people of those areas will not feel strengthened. And I am sure in this election, after PTI government has come up, when they will go to the local government system in Balochistan, there will be many more good things which will happen in Balochistan.
All right, so Brigadier Sahab, let's talk a little bit about the Baloch militancy that is, of course, has been rampant since a couple of years now. First, we had attack in 2011 against Nasir Mengal. Then, of course, there were our forces that, of course, apprehended that. Then there are different militant groups, whether it be the Majid Brigade, whether it be the BLF, whether it be other small factions that are, of course, operative in the region of Balochistan. As far as the government and the military efforts are concerned, that needs to be lauded as well for all the heavy-handed work that they've done to eliminate or to reduce as much as possible the scourge of such terrorism and extremism. But as far as the people of Balochistan is concerned, how much of the responsibility, how much of the onus also comes on them?
90%, more than 90% comes on them. There is a reason. There are many things which are, those are propagated in different types of media, and there are many things which are intentionally or unintentionally not propagated for certain security reasons. More than 80% of the terrorist groups are the militants of the Balochistan. They have already surrendered and they are towards Pakistan. These are the residual effects, what they are trying to do it. You just see the pattern of their terrorist activities in last just 5 years. And South Asian, this terrorism index will give you the comparison that how did it decrease gradually and what were the causes why it decreased. Just because these are the groups which were day out and day in, they were being exposed by our agencies, they were being exposed by the national media, they were being exposed at different forums, and whenever they were exposed they tried to withdraw, and many of them they tried to surrender, and they have been surrendering. So these small little terrorist acts which are here and there, of course we lose our lives and very precious lives, but at the same time there is nothing to worry about it because these are just residuals. These are the leftover people which are there, and as such that soon this activity of economic corridor will start. There will be a lot of opportunities for the people of Balochistan, and they'll be more, they'll feel more responsible, and they'll feel more, obliged for this thing that whatever has been portrayed to them, it is not the case. Everything which is being done, it is just for the people of Balochistan at large.
All right. Finally, Brigadier Sir, my last question to you before we move on to the second segment. When it comes to the different forms of attacks, different strategies of attacks that these militant groups have undergone on, whether it be Pakistani elements, whether it be military elements, even Chinese elements in the area, whether it be IED attacks, gun attacks, or other forms of attacks, do you feel that the group starts changing their strategies, A, as per the need of the hour, and B, if that is so, are we effectively countering those different techniques of or those different strategies, whether they be directly or indirectly? Of course, we know whose backing they have, but nevertheless, what do we see in the future, Brigadier Saab? Should we be concerned or should we be optimistic about the future of Balochistan?
We should be optimistic. We are concerned, whereas we are concerned, we should be optimistic at the same time. You see, Pakistan and Pakistan Armed Forces and intelligence agencies have a unique honor of on-job training of terrorism since last 16 to 70 years. And no other country has ever done it. And we virtually eliminated terrorism, and we had the worst kind of insurgency that was logical based, and it was religious based. You know, the narrative was a very, very tough narrative, which was very difficult to counter, and they had to spend a lot of time to make that counter narrative for this type of insurgency. And finally they successfully did it. And I'm sure the agencies and the armed forces and government of Pakistan, they are mindful of all the threats. You know, threat perception is a key point, is a pivot point whenever you are making a response or evolving a strategy or making a counter strategy. So threat perception is the it has the position of a pivot. Till the time you have not assessed the complete threat spectrum, you cannot evolve any strategy. And whatever I saw, I served this institution for good about 32 to 34 years. And I have been just observing that the type of understanding the present military leadership has about the terrorism, about insurgencies, about the fifth generation warfare, and which ultimately gave birth to hybrid warfare. This fifth generation warfare necessarily is the war of narratives, because it is the war of information and perceptions. Now these perceptions, for this we need to have a very strong narrative, and that narrative doesn't have to be built by the security forces only. It has to be built at national level, and for that I'm sure the people are on it. They are not with eyes closed. There are certain things which
All right. I can understand that. Thank you very much, Brigadier Amjad Ali Saab, senior analyst, to talk about a very important matter, that is terrorism in Pakistan. Our forces, and you have been part of that, have been instrumental in eliminating the scourge of terrorism and extremism from different parts of the country. These little remnants remain, and we need to handle them effectively. And of course, our military is doing the needful in collaboration with the people of Balochistan in order to eliminate the little amount of this little percentage of extremist elements that remain in areas such as Balochistan as well. Yes, you wanted to add something to that.
Just one last sentence I want to say. President Musharraf once said, I quote, Indians, please lay off. You can't do anything in Balochistan.
Well, I hope